It was only 3 weeks ago when we finished up the 2025 season for the BodyArmor Pro Series, and I said it wasn't going to come back, but I lied, because you know what? It's a new year, and we're excited for it. The Wall Cup Series starts in 2 weeks, but we always like to start off featuring some of the best drivers from the prior year. And the BodyArmor Pro Series is back. A little bit different of a format than it was in 2025. But we're here at the South Boston Speedway for the first race of 2026 on AG the channel. It's our 12th year of competition on the channel. Thank you all so much for over a decade of NR offline racing here. And we're going to kick off the new year right as we're here at the South Boston Speedway for the first of 17 races in the 2026 BodyArmor Pro Series. This is the South Boston Showdown here on this Friday night here in the BodyArmor Pro Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here and welcome here to the South Boston Speedway. A year ago, we started the 2025 season right here at this very racetrack, and the guy you see right there in the center of your screen went to victory lane, and he led in the championship standings all 25 races in the BodyArmor Pro Series last year. We'll see what he can do here tonight, along with 23 other drivers. We got a lot of new faces in the series, and of course, this year it was invite only. The champions of major events and major series came together here, and we got 24 drivers for this year's season. One of the biggest differences from this year is the fact that we do not have ratings. It's kind of an old school series this year for the BodyArmor Pro Series. It's equal ratings for these 24 drivers. So what we saw out of Blaine Keys last year and leading the points every single race might not necessarily happen this year, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're happy to have you here on this Friday evening in the middle of January, only 2 weeks away from the start of the Wall Cup Series season. We're so excited for that, and we're excited to have a couple of my best friends alongside me to call this race here today. We got Nathan Stapleton and Andrew Miller. Both of these guys were in the series last year. They didn't quite do enough last year to make themselves available for the BodyArmor Pro Series this season, but that means you're going to hear these guys in the booth a lot more in the Pro Series. And Andrew, I'm really excited to have you a part of this because you didn't get a chance to call as many races last year. You'll definitely be calling some of these Pro Series races throughout the year. And Andrew, what are you excited for here in the 2026 season? Not only in the BodyArmor Pro Series, Wall Cup Series, and all that, we kick off the racing season here tonight, and it's going to be a lot of fun here tonight in this race in particular.
Yeah, South Boston always a thriller of a race, and I'm with you. It is the best way to kick off a new year, a new season of racing here on the channel. And oh man, 2026, we are here already. It's wild to say that out loud, but we're here. A new motorsports season is going to be kicking off. But first things first, we're kicking off a new season here on AG the channel. Lots of awesome stuff, as you were saying, that we got going on. It's with all the different series going on, it's kind of like real life when you start to finally realize, like, hey, it's kicking off. We're ready for a new year. It's going to be some great racing, and honestly, I'm just glad to be a part of the first race up here in the booth for 2026. So thank you for bringing me on board for this one.
Yeah, no problem, man. And glad to have the other guy alongside us as well, Nathan Stapleton. Of course, you won a couple of races last year. Actually, Andrew won 3 races in this series last year, so both of you guys went to victory lane a couple of times. But what makes this series so special, Nathan? Because you have a lot of these guys who won championships last year. Of course, Blaine Keys, the defending Pro Series champion. You also are going to have Duncan Orr, the Wall Cup Series champion here as well. So many really, really strong drivers, and they get to all compete it out in an equal rating series this year for 17 races that we're going to have here in the BodyArmor Pro Series for 2026.
Absolutely. That's what makes this series very unique, especially with the no rains now for this year. And you just mentioned a few people of these $24 that we will meet throughout the night is honestly some of the best on the channel from last year and of all time, really. That had a very fantastic year. And it's going to be interesting if it ends up being, I guess you can say, the best of the best from 2025 with all these series champions, all the event champions. And it's going to be a lot of fun to see of how all the chaos goes throughout the 17 race season, because some of these races can be a little bit chaotic. So I'm excited of how things go.
Yeah, of course, we just announced the schedule. I think it was last week. Maybe we did it last week. I don't know. But you guys see the schedule in the Discord, and we got some interesting races. And the way the series is going to go, we're going to run this through to August. We're going to do the 16 races, and then we're going to have the finale at the Coca-Cola Super Speedway the night before the Thanksgiving 500 as the finale event, race 17 in November. So there's going to be about a 3-month gap in between race 16 and race 17. But the big issue that I had with this last year was I didn't feel it at the end of the season there. It just wasn't quite there. So we're not going to do all the races throughout the fall. We're going to move some over to the spring and summer months and the winter months as well, as we want some racing on our screens here tonight. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Equal ratings and 24 drivers in the field. You only see 12 right now because this is how this race in particular works, as well as all the short track races we'll have this season. We got ourselves 2 heat races and a feature. But unlike last year, where only the top 6 from each heat advanced on, everybody's going to be in the feature event for this race here tonight. And with that, the heat races are going to award points as well. So, heat race number 1, the starting lineup on either the inside or the outside lane, whichever has the fastest lap, the pole sitter, the fastest lap on either of the race, they are the ones that get the inside lane, and that starting lineup for that inside lane or outside lane is going to be determined by the fastest lap in the heat race. So the finishing order does not determine the starting lineup for the feature event. With that being said, though, if you win the heat race, you get 10 points towards the championship, and you know how hard it is to get points in the series because in the features, only the top 10 finishers receive championship points. Only the top 5 finishers in the heat races will receive championship points. 10 points down to 1 point, 10, 6, 4, 2, and 1 for the top 5 positions in the heat races. So, going to be interesting to see how it all ends up shaking out here tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we got to introduce the drivers that are going to be racing here in the 2026 BodyArmor Pro Series as well. And of course, our defending champion in this series, Blaine Keys, is going to start on the pole position there in the number 14. The way the starting lineup works for these heat races, we go alternating Heat 1, Heat 2 in the order of the Pro Series points from last season, and then from the guys who are new, we win the order of how many wins they have on the channel. Blaine Keys, of course, in the number 14 again, won the championship last year. Stuart Gratton returning, had a great season in the Pro Series last year. He's on the outside starting position here for Heat number 1 in the 35. Matthew Hubert is back in the 15, the Turkey Hill Truck Series champion from last year. A great run for Matthew Hubert to get his first ever Drivers' Championship. He's alongside Logan Williams in the number 17. And Logan Williams finished in the top 5 in points of the Wall Wall Cup Series, which awarded him a spot in this year's Pro Series. Alexander Rowe is back in the Pro Series, and he's going to be in the Wall Wall Cup Series this year as well. He's in the number 6 machine. And, of course, a 2-time champion last year alone, winning the Hers Sprint Series title and the BodyArmor Light Series Ace title. Also won 12 races in 2025, and he's now 6th on the all-time wins list. How about that for Alexander Rowe? Duncan Ward, your Wall Wall Cup Series champion, in the number 13, starting in the 6th position here in Heat number 1. He got his challenger from that year, Daniel Paulus Jr., in the number 54, who finished 3rd in the Wall Wall Cup Series standings. And, of course, Paulus also won the Coca-Cola 600 last year, which awarded him a spot in this year's Pro Series. Andrew Williams, who is Duncan Ward's owner in the Wall Wall Cup Series, he was the runner-up in the Turkey Hill Truck Series Championship, hence why he's in the Pro Series this year in the number 23. Chase McClure, I think you might be familiar with that name, Andrew. He won the Thanksgiving 500 just a couple of months ago. He's in the 88. Ryan Durrani won the BodyArmor Light Series West Championship, and he's in the number 86. You got Kirsten Bell, who was the runner-up in the Wall Wall Cup Series Championship in the number 29, and Haley Anderson Jr. won the Indy Light Series Championship last year. Those are your 12 drivers here in Heat number 1. We'll get to the other 12 drivers in Heat number 2 in just a moment. And we're going to gift to the green flag here right now. And Andrew, I'm going to ask you first before we get these guys to roll off, who's going to get this heat win here at the South Boston Speedway?
South Boston can be a bit unpredictable on this front, but I'm liking the odds of one Mr. Matthew Hubert there. Inside lane, always where you want to be. And I'm liking the starting position. Nothing against Blaine Keys, but I swear there's something about like that third or fifth starting position that tends to usually be where I lean towards. So I'm liking it for Hubert. Let's see if he can get the year started right.
We'll have to see if he can do so. All right, we've talked long enough. Let's go ahead and get these drivers to roll off here for the first green flag of 2026. And, of course, the number 14, driven by Blaine Keys. He won this very race a year ago at the South Boston Speedway and went on to lead in the championship standings the entire season. Of course, with this now being an equal rating series again, that's going to be a lot harder. But will we see someone other than Blaine Keys lead in the championship once we are done here tonight? I'd say it's very likely, considering the other 23 drivers we have in the field. Well, it's been a long off-season. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since we last had a race, so let's get back into it. And it's the first green flag of 2026 here on AG the channel. We're underway at the South Boston Speedway. And Blaine Keys will lead the first lap of heat number 1. These heat races will go by very quickly. As long as we don't have a caution, which we might have here as Paulus and Alex in a row got into it. Off the exit of turn number 2. And already a yellow flag here in heat number 1. And the 54 is going to gain some significant damage from that. It almost looks like he was about to spin out, lose the car into the corner. Got into Alex in a row, and in the process, Matthew Hubert just took the race lead away from Blaine Keys.
Oh,
Wow.
well, welcome to 2026, everybody.
I think we started last year like this
Tempers.
too with a wreck. Well, they're not out of the race at this point, which is good. And of course, everybody's going to be in the feature event. So unlike last year, you're not going to get knocked out if you don't finish top 6. But still, not exactly the way Alex Itero and Daniel Paulus Jr. wanted to start it tonight. So let's go ahead and see what happens to bring out the caution and get back to racing here in heat number 1 of the South Boston Showdown. Well, going in the turn number 1. Just the second lap of racing here this season. And Daniel Paulus Jr. is a bit too aggressive there on the back bumper of Alexander Rowe. And he just doesn't allow Rowe to get turned and sends him up into the outside wall. And of course, a little bit of a jut out right there, and that is not good if you're coming off the outside lane like that. Logan Williams behind that. Duncan Ward in the 13 machine. I do not believe he was able to avoid this, and he gets right in the Daniel Paulus Jr. How about that? The two guys who were going after it in the Wall Wall Cup Series Championship last year. Both into each other there on the second lap of heat number 1. It's the second lap of racing on the whole entire year, and that's what we got here at the South Boston Speedway.
Welcome to 2026, everybody. Alexander Rowe, 2-time champion last year, gets punted by Mango Madness himself, and nowhere to go for Duncan Ward as well. And it's gonna be interesting if what ends up happening as there's Stewart. I thought I saw skip marks. Something happened to Stewart in turn 3, and he went around, then did a half spin.
Yeah, we got to take a look at that. Stuart Gratton getting sent around in the 35. Now you see right here, Stuart Gratton and Ryan Durrani, they were trying to avoid it. Durrani got into the inside wall and then came up on the 35. It's minor damage on Gratton, but gonna lose a couple of spots right there for the restart. Not exactly what he wants to start off this heat, but it always gets crazy at the beginning of the season. Even though some of these guys, like Keys and like Stewart just barely lost that finale a few weeks ago at Homestead, so you know he's got a chip on his shoulder coming into this one. But it's Matthew Hubert, who won about a month ago at the Bend in the BodyArmor Pro Series, who's out front in the number 15. Let's see what he does on the restart here in Heat 1 of the South Boston Showdown. And we're back here in Heat number 1. Quick little yellow here to start off the night in the 2026 season. with both Paulus Jr. and Alexander Rowe getting caught up in an accident right there. But all 12 drivers still in the race. And, of course, the fastest lap is what's going to determine the starting lineup in the respective row. So whatever that fastest lap is for the fastest driver, if that's faster than the fastest lap in heat number 2, they get the inside lane for the feature. Matthew Hubert does not have the inside lane now because here comes Blaine Keys back to the inside for the race lead ahead of the 15. How about Chase McClure up here in third? Kirsten Bell, Ryan Arani. How about Stuart Grant trying to move his way up? Duncan Ward got some damage from that accident in the 13. He's fallen to the back of the field. But Blaine Keys out front here in heat number 1 of the South Boston Showdown, pretty much right where he left off here in the BodyArmor Pro Series.
Bit of an unusual line there that he was taking down the front straightaway there, but yep, good news for everyone that was involved in that accident. It is just the heat, no harm, no foul. Really, it's not like as you said, Alex, they're not going to transfer or anything. Just probably going to miss out on getting a couple of early points for this long season ahead. As boy, Kirsten is really hunting down Blaine Keys here, and we may see a pass for the lead here again. Almost a little bit of a bump and run. Watch the wall. Man, that was a heck of a lick that the 6 took earlier into that wall. So could be a trouble spot to watch out for throughout the night.
First, Kirsten Bell was runner-up in the Wall Cup Series standings last year. And now she is out front here in the first heat of the South Boston Showdown, looking to get those 10 points towards the championship. But she's wide, and here comes Blaine Keys once again. Andrew Williams now up to third, Matthew Hubert, and Logan Williams to the inside of Stuart Gratton for position as Blaine Keys takes the top spot back away from Kirsten Bell. Here comes Andrew Williams there for the second spot. You got Matthew Hubert there in fourth, and then it's Logan Williams in the 5th position. Blaine Keys out front in this 14 machine, and a great job tonight out of Blaine Keys so far, and this is exactly what we saw out of him in the 2025 season.
It absolutely is, and if he does this all season, even with it being an equal weighting series, he could be tough to beat this year. I think these the Williams brothers might be tough to beat here in this heat. Not only do we got Logan up here, but we got a new race leader of Andrew Williams out front, and you might want a little bit of revenge after coming up a little bit short as a driver in the Tokyo Cup Series last fall. And watch out now, guys, but we might have a Williams versus Williams one for the heat.
How about this to start off the year? Andrew Williams and Logan Williams, 1-2 here in heat number 1. Fastest lap right now is going to Hallie Anderson Jr. in the 67, by the way, and she's coming through the field very quick in that 67 machine. Great run for her here tonight. She's to the back bumper of Blaine Keys, but Andrew Williams, Logan Williams, and how about this? Daniel Paulus Jr. got caught up in that accident. He's up to the 3rd position now in that 54 machine. You know, fun thing about South Boston Speedway, these guys are going all over the place throughout the entire night, and we see a lot of passing throughout the entire racetrack, and I don't think we're done yet for the race lead. Logan Williams all over the back bumper of his younger brother right there for the race lead here in heat number 1.
Let's see. Brotherly love going to give him the bumper.
That might be the brotherly shove
yet.
here in just a moment.
Yeah. Oh, man. But credit to Paulus for getting up here in the 3rd, even though I swear that Mango wasn't going to be smiling after how the first wreck went down, but it's smiling again now that he's up to 3rd.
Oh, he just got put in the wall again.
Never mind. Goodness.
And Hallie Anderson Jr. is taking no prisoners here tonight in that 67 machine. Just put Paulus in the outside wall, and Paulus is going to fall back. Remember, only the top 5 get points in the heat. And Ryan Durrani's taking that 5th spot away from the 54. Blaine Keys has fallen off. Down to 7th right now for the 14. Andrew Williams is still holding on to the race lead. I believe everyone's gotten their fastest laps out of the way at this point with the tire wear, so it's looking like Hallie Anderson Jr. is going to start on the front row for the feature here in just a few moments. Durrani's around Kirsten Bell for 4th. As Andrew Williams holds on for now, it's 3 laps to go here in heat number 1, and Logan Williams is right there again on the back bumper of the 23.
Here's a throwback all the way back in the All-Star race in real life. It was Kurt and Kyle Busch that wrecked each other in 2007. I don't think that would happen here, but it's kind of ironic that almost 20 years later, that's crazy for me to even say that. You got brother versus brother to kick off the season. You cannot count Harley Anderson Jr. as well.
And this 67 has been one of the fastest cars in this race, but there's only one lap left here in heat number 1, and Andrew Williams is holding on to the race lead for now. It's going to have to be one last push for Logan if he's going to have any opportunity. He might have a shot at it, though. Here he comes to the inside, and Logan Williams is going to steal it right at the end from Andrew Williams here in heat number 1. That's a 4-point swing in the championship, and Logan Williams just got it from his younger brother there on the last lap. How about that?
Oh my goodness.
Well, what a way to start off the year. A thrilling finish here in heat number 1 at the South Boston Speedway, and it's Logan Williams ahead of Andrew Williams. They still finished 1-2, though, so how about those Williams brothers dominating here in this first heat? Of course, it'll be Hallie Anderson Jr., 15.293. That's the time that you got to beat if you want the inside lane in the feature event. So we'll see how that ends up shaking out for the rest of them. As you take a look at the rest of the fastest laps, that's how they'll line up on either the inside or the outside lane for the feature. Got the 67 there of Hallie Anderson Jr. with a 15.293. Is going to be on the front row no matter what once we get to the feature event. In terms of drivers getting championship points, it's going to be Logan Williams, Andrew Williams, Hallie Anderson Jr., Ryan Durrani, and Matthew Hubert. And for the first time since Drew Webb took the checkered flag at Atlanta in the 2024 Pro Series finale, we have somebody other than Blaine Keys leading the championship here in the BodyArmor Pro Series. That is currently, at this very moment, Logan Williams in the number 17. Andrew, that was a wild race. What do you expect to see in heat number 2 here in just a moment?
Well, if those guys were paying attention, hopefully they'll maybe pay mind to not overdrive the corners so much, so that we don't get an early wreck like we saw there. And a couple times that we saw some overshooting, especially in 3 and 4. Cost Kirsten Bell the lead at one point. And then it costs a win there for Andrew Williams. I wonder if he just overdrove it thinking that his brother was going to absolutely send him. But regardless, though, still a 1-2, like you said, for the Williams bros. And that's pretty cool to see. But I'm sure Andrew's going to be out for revenge. But if there's one thing that the drivers for Heat 2 are hopefully going to take note on, it is, hey, keep the car to the bottom, darn it.
Mm-hmm. That's hard to do here at South Boston Speedway, as we have seen. That's just the unique thing about this racetrack that makes this race a lot of fun to open up the 2026 year. And we did so last year. We had a lot of fun with it as well. All right, let's go ahead and move on to heat number 2. Introduce the other 12 drivers who are going to be racing in the 2026 BodyArmor Pro Series. See how it all goes down in heat number 2 here from the South Boston Speedway. And here we go for heat number 2 here from the South Boston Speedway. Of course, we had a wild first heat where Logan Williams went to victory lane in that one. Of course, he didn't go to victory lane quite yet because that's just a heat race. We got the feature coming up in just a moment. Of course, Logan Williams getting those 10 points towards the championship to open up the season. It'll be Hallie Anderson Jr. who had the fastest lap, who will start on the front row in the feature. Just don't know where she's going to start, whether it's going to be inside or outside. You're going to have to beat a 15.293 as the fastest lap to get the inside lane if you're in this heat. We got ourselves Rogal Dorn, who actually won more races than anybody in the Pro Series last year in the number 4, including the finale 3 weeks ago at Homestead. Alongside Ludovic Charette there in the 00. Ludovic's in the series again for winning the Brickyard 400 last year. Isaac Nichols, of course, he finished top 5 in the Wall Cup Series points. He's back in the Pro Series in the number 26, alongside Zachary Fitzwater, the IndyCar Series champion from last year. That was special to see when he got that. It was also very special to see him get that race victory at Talladega. He's going to be in the number 59 here in the Pro Series for 2026. Great to see him. And, of course, as he has mentioned, this is going to be his last year of competition on the channel. So we're going to miss him, but he's going to have a great year here in the Pro Series. I can sense it. Eric Monaco won the Daytona 500 a year ago. He's going to be driving the number 44 machine alongside Igor Barreto, who won the 10th anniversary race. He got an invite for that. He's going to be driving the number 71. We have Aaron Abel in the number 16 machine. Of course, we all know the very tragic news that happened in December with the passing of Greg Biffle and his family there. Such a devastating thing that occurred, and of course we all came together for that when it occurred. And Aaron Abel is going to be running a tribute scheme to Greg Biffle as his hot seat for the season. So his invite, third place in the Turkey Hill Truck Series standings. We decided to go ahead and give him the 16 in honor of Greg Biffle, which he decided to do so. So great tribute for Aaron Abel to do that on his team. And of course our thoughts and prayers are with the Biffle family and everyone related and involved closely to that. Such a heartbreaking thing that happened just about a month ago. But Aaron Abel, of course, driving that 16, keeping the spirit of Greg Biffle alive there for his team. You got Travis Crampton alongside him there in the 05. Nathan, you got your thing here. Won the Little 250 back in May, which that's going to be coming back. We're excited to see that. And Andrew, you got one of your things here too. Michael Lewis, winner of the Top Dragster Open, there in the number 99 machine. Very excited to see Michael Lewis in this because he got a really good run in another equal rating series essentially with the Top Dragster Open last year. So excited to see what he can do alongside some of these veteran drivers. You got Emily York Watson, winner of the Lenovo Pro Series Championship and the Christmas Eve Showdown. She's going to be in the number 52 Lenovo scheme. Of course, Lenovo Pro Series champion there. You got Caleb Rose, who won the Light Series Showdown. And he's going to be driving the number 50 machine, so he's going to be a driver. You're not going to hear him in the booth for the Pro Series this year. He's to the inside there of Brennan Wilmington in the number 62, winner of last year's Indianapolis 250. Well, Andrew, before we get these guys to roll off, I already asked you, so I'm going to ask Nathan instead. Nathan, before these guys roll off, who's getting the victory here in heat number 2 from South Boston?
Well, once again, just like heat number 1, we have a lot of good drivers on the channel and the entire community. I'm going to get my bias pick out of the way early. Give me Travis Crampton, the Little 250 winner, which will come back this year. I think he's going to kick off 2026 right as a driver and win heat number 2.
We'll have to see if he can join Logan Williams atop the points standings before the feature. But Rogel Dorn won more races than anyone last year in this series specifically. He's a very dominant driver. We'll see if he can get the race victory here in heat number 2. Let's go ahead, get these drivers to roll off here from the South Boston Speedway. Of course, alongside Rogel Dorn there, Ludovic Charette, who had a great year as well in the Pro Series. Actually, both of these drivers had an opportunity at closing in on Blaine Keys at the end of the season and taking the championship away. Closed in quite a bit there near the end, but could not get to the number 14 in time. And of course, Blaine Keys ended up clinching the championship a race early in the 2025 season. But here in 2026, it's a clean slate and it's equal ratings, and all these guys are going to have a huge opportunity at it. Pace car's going to pull off, and heat number 2 is going to get underway here from the South Boston Speedway. Rogel Dorn leading us off once again here in the BodyArmor Pro Series. Good jump there for Rogel Dorn. Isaac Nichols had a good jump there. We'll see if we can get through lap number 2 this time. It looks like they're good this time around. Isaac Nichols going to take the race lead away from Rogel Dorn. He's got it. And he's up front here in heat number 2. Eric Monaco to the inside. Here comes Aaron Abel. That inside lane found a lot of strength there at the start of the race. Here comes Michael Lewis as well to the inside for 4th.
Yeah, a lot cleaner this time around. Maybe they took my advice and aren't driving them quite as hard. Why did they say that? Almost saw Rogel go up into the wall. But so far so good. Aaron Abel up in 3rd place right now. How cool would that be to see that number 16, whether winning this heat or winning the main show? Man, how special would that be to see the 16 in the Biffle colors go to victory lane? That would be maybe wishful thinking, but that would be pretty darn cool. As Monaco to the lead in the number 44, passing honestly probably one of my favorite schemes that I'm seeing out there right now is the 26. Oh, someone's way off the pace.
Well, Fitzwater's at the back of the field, but I don't think he's particularly off the pace. Nah, he's got some damage
Looked like
in
he
the
lost the
59
pack.
machine, so I'm not entirely sure what happened to him. Tough break there for Fitzy, but at least this year everyone makes it into the feature, so he doesn't have to worry about not being in that. How about Caleb Rose? We're looking to the back bumper of Eric Monaco. Now, Eric Monaco, not sure how signups went last Friday. We're recording this the night before, but Eric Monaco won the Daytona 500 last year, did excellent in the hot seat ride for Racing Motorsports, and you know, if he ends up or ended up in a full-time Wawa Cup Series ride, that's going to be great. If he ended up, he is going to be in the National Series if he didn't get the Cup Series ride, so he's going to be a driver to watch out for this year in the Rating Series, and maybe even a driver to watch out for here in the Pro Series as well. Caleb Rose is second. Emily York-Watson is in third. How about the end of the year she had, winning the Lenovo Pro Series Championship and then the Christmas Eve Showdown? You got Igor Barreto and Ludovic Charette the top 5. And the fastest lap right now going to Igor Barreto, but it's not as fast as Hallie Anderson Jr.'s time, so that would mean that heat number 1 would start on the inside lane, while these guys start outside, and we've seen how that outside lane can be here tonight. It definitely is a struggle bus, as Eric Monaco just got put on the wall by Caleb Rose. Oh my goodness, we saw that happen last year with Ace Garcia and Blaine Keys, and Eric Monaco still out front, but with heavy left side damage to that 44 machine.
I think we all saw that one in basically a lap in advance, and unfortunate point there for Caleb, and that's really gonna hurt Caleb as Ladova's gonna get by, get on Travis, and maybe even Vogel as well. So that's gonna not end up being good, as the fifth car is a really high bat there. And this is just the unique thing about South Boston. We gotta see how this all plays out with Dover trying to catch up to the damaged race car of Monaco here. Got the one in Crampton right behind him.
And of course, Ludovic Charette going to be an owner in the Wawa Cup Series this year, but going to drive in the National Series, so their driving days are far from over. 2024 Wawa Cup Series champion. But Travis Crampton, you know, Nathan, you might get this one right. Here comes this 05. And Travis Crampton back in the Pro Series. He was in the Pro Series in 2024. Didn't make it in 2025, but he's back, and he's out front here in heat number 2 as Monaco finally relinquishes the lead. And maybe that damage is finally getting to that 44 machine, but a great run for him regardless, even though he completely smashed the inside of his race car there. How about Michael Lewis here trying to get a point? He's up in the 5th position. Remember, top 5 get championship points in these heat races, and that'd be 10 points to the winner. Travis Crampton trying to get it done here as his lap 17 to 25.
Crampton's got some heavy hitters behind him, though, here in Vogeldorn and Ludovic Charette. Vogel's going to take that spot back, and has in 18 laps gone from the back to the front to the back. Inverse of that. That's 3 wide. 16 of Abel starting to recover a little bit after going high at one point.
Yeah, we
and
missed
just
the lead.
like that, all the way from the.
That's all you got to do. First one of the year. Where we just completely missed it.
HE.
Yeah.
It's not an HE race without missing one of those.
No, it's not. How about Rogeldorn? Started on the pole, took it away from Travis Crampton. Crampton now falling all the way back to 5th, and just like that, you can lose a ton of spots. And keep in mind, we're going to have 24 cars in the feature here in just a moment. Think about how wild that's going to be with that many cars on the racetrack. But Ludovic Charette's going to have a shot now. Rogel wide, and here comes Ludovic, 2 of the best drivers from last year's Pro Series. 1-2 right now here in heat number 2. It's far from over here at South Boston. Here comes Michael Lewis, looking to take second away from Rogel. Isaac Nichols still in this, and how about Caleb Rose as well? Nichols way wide in the 26.
As Lewis, I think, just got up to second. Oh goodness, way up the track. That was the wall. That's not what you want there.
Oh,
Caleb
and again!
putting another one.
And that's going to be a wreck.
That's going to be
And
the end of the
upside
race.
down goes Isaac Nichols. Rogeldorn caught up as well. This is going to end the race, and it's going to give Ludovic Charette 10 points towards the BodyArmor Pro Series Championship.
Caleb has not made any friends tonight.
Caleb, you know, he's such a nice guy, you know. But behind the wheel of the race car, and it's a totally different person.
Oh my!
He's going to get some points out of that, too. Going to be 3rd. Michael Lewis going to be 2nd. Aaron Abel, Eric Monaco with the last points as the white flag is out.
Well, welcome to 2026, I guess. First pass for the lead missed and first flip of the new year as well.
Getting the whole bingo card checked off in this first race tonight. Well, in the first event, two separate races. We've had a last lap pass, we've had a flip, missed a pass for the race lead. I mean, we do that all the time. And it's Ludovic Schratt at the end of all that, winning heat number 2. And Rogel, not quite enough to get the inside lane. We'll start alongside Hallie Anderson Jr. in row number 1 for the feature event. Michael Lewis going to start alongside Kirsten Bell. Aaron Abel going to start alongside Stuart Gratton. Travis Crampton going to start alongside Matthew Hubert. Agar Barreto going to start alongside the 54 of Daniel Paulus Jr. Isaac Nichols going to start alongside the 23 of Andrew Williams. Caleb Rose going to start alongside the 17 of Logan Williams, who won the heat. He did not have a good lap. And Ludovic Schratt as well. Deep in the field to start the feature. She's going to start 16th alongside the 88 machine of Chase McClure, excuse me. And then you got the 52 machine there. That is Emily York Watson, going to be to the outside of Blaine Keys. You got the 62 machine of Brandon Wilmington going to start alongside Ryan Durrani. You got the 44 there of Eric Monaco going to start alongside the 6 machine of Alexander Rowe. And then Zachary Fitzwater going to start alongside Duncan Ward in the final row for the feature event. So Hallie Anderson Jr. wins the pole for the feature. Of course, if you win the feature, you get the 25 points. But Ludovic Schratt just got 10 points towards the championship here in heat number 2. All right, Nathan, after what we saw in these 2 heats, what are you expecting when we put 24 cars on the racetrack for 50 laps here at the South Boston Speedway in just a moment?
Oh boy, what a first 2 heats it was, with only half of the field and half of the laps, and I think it's just going to be even more chaotic here to open up the 2026 season. Don't go anywhere, because something tells me that with double the laps and double the field, it might be a little bit more chaotic than what we've always seen here tonight. So buckle up and let's go ahead and get to the feature, because I'm very excited of how this all plays out, with some of the best from last year kicking off this year.
It's going to be a lot of fun for the feature event. The first race of 2026 officially. We got 24 cars on the track here, ready to get it done here at the South Boston Speedway. Let's go ahead and get to it. The South Boston Showdown, race 1 of the season, about to start right now. And both heat races are complete, which means we are ready for the feature event. And unlike last year, all 24 drivers are on the racetrack at the same time here on this 0.4 of a mile racetrack. I don't think we've mentioned the length at this point. We've done enough races here over the past decade to kind of know that, but it's going to be chaotic. As what we saw in the first 2 heats is any indication, it is going to be chaotic here in this feature event for 50 laps and all the marbles. The first official race win of 2026. Winner's going to get 25 points towards the championship. Of course, Logan Williams and Ludovic Schratt both have 10 points from their heat wins. And of course, they are going to tie for the points lead at the current moment. But we could see a very different situation once we are done here with this feature event. Excited to see how it all is going to go down. And Andrew, I know we're excited to see how this race goes after what we saw. What do you expect to take place here with 24 cars on the racetrack for 50 laps around the South Boston Speedway?
Well, double the cars and double the laps. So that I think that hopefully won't mean double the chaos. It is very, very possible, though, at a track where it is very difficult to keep it on the bottom, not overdrive it. These guys are going to be slipping and sliding around a little bit. Obviously, we saw some carnage courtesy of a couple of guys getting into each other coming off of especially turn 2. We may see it even more of that. So I do not foresee this going caution free. I think even one caution is a slim chance. So I think it could be a bit chaotic. Obviously, you never know. but I'm willing to bet that we're going to see a lot of craziness and maybe even some hurt feelings by the end of this one.
Well, I mean, Caleb Rose already has some people he's probably not going to be sending Christmas cards to, or the other way around. And hey, even Daniel Paulus Jr. got in the Alexander Rowe there, so we've already seen a couple of things go on the night. We'll see how it ends up going down here in the feature event. Nathan, what do you expect in this one? After what we saw in that first two heats, it was kind of crazy how it all went down. Do you think it's going to be just as crazy as it was with 24 cars on the racetrack?
Absolutely. I think this could be a very, very chaotic start to the 2026 season. It already has been, but when you put 2 times the amount of cars on a 0.4 mile short track in a 50 lap feature instead of 25 lap heats, I think it's going to be very chaotic. And if somehow it stays green, we could see lap traffic just naturally with 24 cars and being just a 0.4 mile short track. So it's definitely going to be very interesting on who ends up getting 25 points here tonight. But regardless, you will earn it here at a very technical short track of South Boston.
No doubt about it. And of course, it's going to be a lot of fun seeing who gets this first official win of 2026. It's an equal rating series, so anyone can pull it off. And of course, the way we determined the starting lineup for the feature came from the fastest laps that we had in the heats. And of course, the heat races next week at New Smyrna Speedway will be determined by the fastest lap here in the feature. So you want to make sure you get a good lap in. Even if you don't finish well, a good lap could definitely set you up for a good race next week. We'll have to see if that ends up being the case for any of these drivers. Hallie Anderson Jr. got the fastest lap in heat number 1, and she had a faster lap than Rogel Dorn did, so she gets to start on the pole position here for the South Boston Showdown. Of course, Rogel Dorn alongside her there in row number 1. Got Kirsten Bell and Michael Lewis in row 2, Stuart Gratton and Aaron Abel in row 3, Matthew Hubert, Travis Crampton in row number 4, Daniel Paulus Jr. and Igor Barreto in row number 5, Andrew Williams, Isaac Nichols in row 6, Logan Williams, winner of heat number 1, to the inside of Caleb Rose in row 7, Ladovic Schritt, winner of heat number 2, to the outside of Chase McClure. You got Blaine Keys, defending Pro Series champion alongside Emily York Watson, Brennan Wilmington, and Ryan Durrani, Alexander Rowe and Eric Monaco, and then in the final row, it's Zachary Fitzwater and Duncan Ward. All right, Andrew and then Nathan, who do you guys think is going to victory lane in the first race of 2026 on AG the channel?
Oh boy, let's see. You know what? I'm gonna stick with it. I picked him in the first heat. Let's stick to Hubert here. Again, I just like that starting position, but like I said, chaos. Guys going from the front to the back to the front. This is about as close of a cycle track as you can get without it being a super speedway. But again, the inside lane's where you're going to want to be, and I think that Hubert's got the capability to make it happen. But 24 guys, and only one can win it. We'll find out.
Well, we will see how strong the Stable Jinx is in 2026. It normally is, but I think we got something stronger than the Stable Jinx here tonight. We got the Colonel Caleb Rose, who's very aggressive here tonight, but I like it. This is a short track. This is a 0.4 mile being and bang type event, and if you make people mad, don't worry about it tonight. Worry about it next time out at New Smyrna. I think Caleb Rose, based off of what he did in that second heat, I think he's going to possibly bump and run someone and get the race win here at the end of these 50 laps.
We're going to have to see if that ends up being the case. That'd be quite an interesting race victory if it happened. You know, last year, Blaine Keys, he used the bumper to get his race victory in this event a year ago. So Caleb Rose might be in position to do that again here tonight in the BodyArmor Pro Series in 2026. All right. We waited long enough. Let's go ahead and get these drivers to roll off here for 50 laps in the feature event in the first race of 2026. And Hallie Anderson Jr., what a ride for her. Of course, of all these guys in the series, she has only 2 wins. She's at the bottom of the list there. Only Brendan Willington has fewer wins. Of course, Brendan Willington won the Indy 250. The Indy Lights champion trying to get this win here alongside Rogaldorn. Of course, she's going to be an owner in the Wall Cup Series this year. Of course, Rogaldorn going to be driving for Ludovic Charette over in the Wall Cup Series this year, so watch out for them once that starts in 2 weeks. But tonight it's the BodyArmor Pro Series. We had a lot of fun. We're going to have some fun once again. And a Happy New Year, everybody. It's the first official race of 2026 underway here from the South Boston Speedway. And already, Anderson Jr. up in the outside wall, and it's Kirsten Bell leading lap number 1 here in the South Boston Showdown. Lap 2 is always the trouble lap, it seems like. Not going to be the case there. They get through it cleanly, and Stuart Grattan, trying to get his 20th career win on the channel here tonight, takes it away from Kirsten Bell. Here comes Paulus. Here comes Andrew Williams. Here comes all the guys who were in heat number 1. They got that faster lap. They can thank Callie Anderson Jr. for that, because that inside lane is absolutely where you want to be. I called it a struggle bus on that outside lane in heat 2. That is absolutely the case. Rogaldorn slipping all the way back outside the top 10.
And already a couple cases of the bumpers coming into play. That's how Grattan got the lead. But right now, starting to pull away a little bit. 23, Andrew Williams looking for a little bit of redemption after losing the first heat on the final corner. But definitely has the car capable of doing it. Oh my gosh, Eric Monaco almost into the back of, I believe that was the 20, or what was it, 23. Whatever number that was.
You got the 13 of Duncan Ward right there. And,
goodness.
Of course, Duncan Ward drives the 23 in the Wall Cup Series, but he drives the 13 here, so definitely interesting to see what Duncan Ward can do here in the Pro Series season. Of course, his first run in the Pro Series, of course, Wall Cup Series champion from last year. Right there behind the Thanksgiving 500 champion of Chase McClure, and you can't split these guys up. Logan Williams and Andrew Williams once again. Logan going to take second away, and Alex NR2003 trying to make up from what happened in heat number 1. He's all the way up to the 3rd position. Ludovic Charette trying to crack her way to the top 10 and trying to get as many points as she can, trying to get this Pro Series championship. You got Chase McClure falling outside the top 10 right there. Actually, he's 8th right now, excuse me. Emily York Watson and Travis Crampton right now have the last 2 spots in the top 10. Here comes Duncan Ward and his team owner. Here comes Logan Williams for the race lead.
Fantastic stuff, and this is exactly what I was thinking. 24 cars, 50 laps, more cars, more laps, and this is absolutely chaotic. And here comes Housing in a row. I saw firsthand a big chunk of wins that he won last year in the Sprint Series and the Lenovo Pro Series. And I almost put them through in heat number 1. I didn't. That ended up being a good sign for him. I almost put them in a feature, and I didn't. So he gotta thank me for him being in the lead for now, for not jinxing him, but I might just did. Here comes the last year's Wall Cup Series champ, Duncan Ward, gonna make it easy as the new race leader. And even though this is flying on by, we're only on lap 13, and we've had so many different leaders in this race. And here comes Ludovic, here comes Emily York Watson as well.
Yeah, how about Emily York Watson? You saw a lot of wins from Emily York Watson yourself, because she ended up getting that Lenovo Pro Series championship. And another kind of, Lenovo Pro Series actually isn't an equal rating series, because you got the owners who do put those points in. But Emily York Watson picked the right cars and drove herself to a championship race early over there. And here she is running in the 4th position alongside the likes of Ludovic Charette, Duncan Ward, a couple of Wall Cup Series champions, and Alex NR2003, a Sprint Series champion, and 6th on the all-time wins list. And he just took it right away from Duncan Ward as the caution's out. And on his side again
on the wall
is Isaac Nichols. He just can't get him away from it. Oh, brother.
First he flips, now he was stuck on his side.
John Hunter Nemechek-esque.
Eric Monaco also caught up in that one as well in the 44. That's a shame for him. He had a good run going for him initially until he got taken out by Caleb Rose in Heat 1. And it's going to be no points for those guys after this one here tonight. That's wild. 2 flips in 2026. They're both the 26 of Isaac Nichols.
Conspiracy.
Alexander Rowe out front in the 6, just the regular 6. And we'll have to see what he can do, trying to get, I think, what is this? It would be his 24th career win if he could pull it off here tonight. Which is rather impressive. Won 12 races in 2025. Tied Blaine Keys in 2024 with that record, and Austin Spencer in 2015. But he did so in a lot of races where he had no control over what was going on. No driver ratings at all, which is impressive. So definitely a great driver. He's going to be in the Wall Cup Series this year, and we are excited for that. I know Travis Crampton's excited for that because Alexander driving for Triad Racing over there in the Cup Series in 2026. All right, let's see what happened to Isaac Nichols to go upside down again here, the BodyArmor Pro Series at South Boston Speedway. Well, this is a very fascinating incident because Eric Monaco, who won the Daytona 500 last year, did so while driving for the guy who's going to take him out in Aaron Abel. And I know off the racetrack these guys have a good relationship because of that partnership they've had for a couple of years there with Racing Motorsports, and Monaco. Just, it's just like how it was with Caleb Rose. It's the second time this has happened to Monaco here tonight. And then it's going to be the second time that Isaac Nichols gets off the racetrack. And Monaco sliding back up after he hit the inside wall, and Isaac Nichols going to squeeze into the outside wall and on his side. If I had a nickel for every time Isaac Nichols flipped or was not on the racetrack as he should in this race, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that this happened twice. This is the first race of the season, guys. Just the first one. Wild stuff here at New Smyrna at South Boston Speedway. That's next week, guys. Eric Monaco, unfortunately, going to be out of the race from that incident there in the 44 machine. Too much damage for him to continue after that one.
A little weird deal here for Monaco and Abel. Just getting aggressive. And then a bad entry there, being on the inside wall for Monaco. Gets a little airborne there himself. And Isaac Nichols, that is a precarious position to be in right there. Amazing that he's actually going to keep going after getting towed back. And it's Monaco that's going to end up, unfortunately, with his night cut short.
Tough break for those guys involved, but that's just the nature of the game sometimes. We have definitely seen that come into play here tonight. It's Alexander Rowe out front on the 6 machine, trying to get his 24th career win on the channel here tonight. Let's see if he does so on the restart here in the South Boston Showdown in the BodyArmor Pro Series. And we are back here at the South Boston Speedway. Alexander Rowe out front here in the South Boston Showdown, opening race of the BodyArmor Pro Series for 2026. Duncan Ward, Ludovic Charette, Emily York-Watson, and Stuart Gratton. That is the top 5 out of the race. Eric Monaco. And the 26 of Isaac Nichols is still in it, but a lap down. So his chances of getting anything are pretty much done for the night. Top 10 received championship points, so keep that in mind. Alexander Rowe trying to get 25 towards the championship. Good restart out of the driver, the number 6, but here comes Duncan Ward in the 13.
So Duncan can try to take that lead back. Looks like he's going to have an opportunity to do it as he's going to force Rowe to go a lane high, and of course that's not where you want to be. So Duncan Ward, the Wawa Cup Series champ, back out in front. Don't look now, but Stuart Gratton starting to make some moves, and that's 3 wide. Don't want to see that. Aaron Abel pushing Logan Williams up the track there. A little more spread out front, but we'll see how long that'll last. Travis Crampton starting to come forward in the 05.
How about some of the names we've got running their way up here? Zachary Fitzwater in the 59. Of course, that Truck Series win he had about a month ago at Talladega, that was special to see that, him get it done there. Now, that was his 32nd career win on the channel, by the way. He is tied second. He's third. I think he's still a notch behind San Mateo right now, but he's got an opportunity to pass to San Mateo, and maybe has a chance at Blaine Keys, who's at 34, just maybe. And how about Aaron Abel? And to your point there, Andrew, wouldn't it be something to see the 16 go to victory lane? Of course, passing at Greg Biffle back in December, a tragic event there, but definitely a great thing Aaron Abel's doing, commemorating Greg Biffle here tonight. And to the inside of Emily York-Watson for position, as Duncan Ward continues to lead, but here comes Travis Crampton in the 0-5. Zachary Fitzwater. How about Michael Lewis up inside the top 5 right here as we're halfway through the feature here in the South Boston Showdown.
These names are huge, all for different reasons, and they have came to play here tonight. Crampton now to the point for the first time in the feature. How about Michael Lewis, the top dragster open champion? Zachary Fitzwater, don't need to say more about that. And then, of course, we got the 10-year anniversary winner of, oh, I don't know, Eagle Bretto up here. So the names are just crazy, and oh yeah, the guy that just was on his side is up here, not on the lead lap, but he's still going and still it's fast. So, welcome to South Boston, and we are past halfway, and Crampton is out here. Lewis gonna pass last year's Cup champion for second.
Here comes Aaron Abel for third. You know, it's a great thing that Aaron Abel got a spot in the series, finishing third in the Truck Series point standings, because he had 2 opportunities to win a championship last year and lost both of those to Alexander Rowe. So definitely great to see him in the series as a driver, going to be an owner, of course, with Racing Motorsports, and he had Blaine Keys as his driver a couple years ago with that brilliant run that Blaine had that one year. Igor Barreto there in 4th. Great run for Igor in this race, and Alexander Rowe still up here as well. Andrew Williams, and hey, don't look now, here he comes. Here comes the man of the hour, the man of the series, Blaine Keys. Will he have enough time to get up front? That's the big question. Barreto's going to have a shot on Aaron Abel, but Crampton still out front in the 05. And trying to hold off Michael Lewis for this race victory right here. Got Alexander Rowe also making a move there on Aaron Abel. I say anyone in this top 5 easily still has an opportunity at winning this race here tonight.
Lewis goes wide. Oh, man, really wide there. That's exactly what Crampton wanted to see. Duncan Ward has dropped way back.
Boy!
Point.
And Stuart Gratton just got taken out by Kirsten Bell. That is not going to be a caution, though. That 35 kept it straight, but Stuart is not going to be happy with Kirsten after that one. We've seen a lot of that tonight of a lot of different drivers, and these guys, they are anxious getting into this season. And Kirsten Bell, and you got more contact there with Ludovic Schredt and Matthew Hubert in the back. Kirsten's outside the top 10, though. It's going to hurt her as well, as Crampton's still out front on the 05, and Gratton going to go a lap down, and his opportunity at his 20th career win. And it's not going to happen tonight for Stuart Gratton. Here comes Blaine Keys to the back bumper of Andrew Williams. He's got 5th place now. Will he get up to the lead and win the South Boston Showdown again? Alexander Rowe to the back bumper of Igor Barreto. All these guys right on each other for the race lead.
Good thing that this is just the first race of the season, because these drivers can have all year to talk out their frustrations from this one. Short track tempers are flailing. Crampton runs a little bit wide. Rowe moves the 71 of Igor Barreto up the racetrack. Michael Lewis, he is in a dogfight with a ton of great drivers up inside of the top 5, top 10. And he's going to try and take it to Crampton here. Rowe slips up. That's going to allow Barreto to get back to the inside.
Oh, caution back out again, and around goes Kirsten Bell, and was the favor repaid? Oh my. Well, Michael Lewis just took the race lead away from Travis Crampton right there as they race back to the line. We're going to have ourselves a restart here in this South Boston Showdown, and I tell you, what a race we have had to open up this season. It has been a doozy here at the South Boston Speedway.
Shootout time. Here we go. Oh, boy.
It's going to be less than 10 laps to go here.
It absolutely will. Kirsten Bell, she's not going to get any points in the feature here tonight. That's a shame for her, but I know she got in the Stewart there. Stewart is out of the race, by the way, so it wasn't Stuart Gratton, but somebody repaid the favor for Stewart right there, no doubt about it. All right, let's go ahead and see what happens to bring up the second caution of the night here in this feature event of the South Boston Showdown. We got less than 10 laps to go to determine the first winner of 2026 on AG the channel. Well, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but a fellow Aussie helping out a fellow Aussie here, I guess. Kirsten Bell took out Stuart Gratton. Zachary Fitzwater kind of took himself out here. Slid up in the Duncan Ward off the exit at turn number 2. Going to hit that inside wall and ride it. Maybe not necessarily ride it, but kind of bump around. Actually got in the Rogel-Dorn right there. Tried to keep it together going into turn number 3. Completely lost it. And Kirsten was already at the back of the field once this occurred. You see Fitzwater up in the outside wall. And Kirsten just didn't quite have anywhere to go and just scraped and bumped into Fitzy right at the end. So Kirsten really didn't get taken out or caught up per se. I mean, she did get caught up, but she was already at the back of the field once that occurred. Definitely an interesting incident right there, but we've seen a lot of interesting things here tonight, here in the South Boston Showdown.
Well, a Odyssey helps, and Odyssey, kind of, sort of, maybe. We'll see. Fitzwater kind of gets tight in 1 and 2, gets into Duncan, hits the inside wall, goes back up into Dorn. There's a half spin, and a nowhere to go for Kirsten Bell with a kind of a decent hit. And we'll see if how that all plays out. Meanwhile, these guys were still trying to race it back to the line, through the smoke, and trying to not hit anybody. And it was the number 99 Michael Lewis, drags the Open champion, edging out the Little 250 champion of Travis Crampton. So we'll see what ends up happening. It's going to be a very late shootout here, and we gotta see what ends up happening and who can get the first win of 2026.
It's definitely going to be a good one. We're going to have about 5 laps to go to decide a winner here in the first race of the 2026 BodyArmor Pro Series season here in the South Boston Speedway. Michael Lewis out front. Let's see if he gets it done here. The BodyArmor Pro Series. We're back here at the South Boston Speedway. We're going to have 5 laps to go to determine a race winner here in the first race of the 2026 BodyArmor Pro Series. Michael Lewis is out front in the 99. Top Dragster Open winner. That's why he's here. I know you're proud of that, Andrew. Travis Crampton, Igor Barreto. How about last year's winner of this race, Blaine Keys, up to 4th. Even in an equal rating series, you can't keep him from the front. And it's Alexander Rowe there in the number 6. Out of the race. Chase McClure blew up when we were under caution. Stuart Gratton and Kiersabel both out as well, along with Eric Monaco. Alexander Rowe to the inside of Blaine Keys right there, going to try to get to the inside of Igor Barreto. Crampton a little wide as Michael Lewis holds on to the race lead, and it's 4 laps to go here at South Boston.
I was about to also mention Caleb Rose wasn't too far from this, although now he's going to get caught.
Oh, and again, Isaac Nichols in the wall again.
It saved it.
He did save it, and there we go for the race lead. Igor Barreto takes it away from Michael Lewis. Here comes Alexander Rowe in the number 6. Travis Crampton here as well, trying to get back on the inside, trying to have a shot at this race victory. Going to be 2 laps to go this time by for Igor Barreto.
I think it's going to be Barreto, Rowe, or Crampton. If these two get racing, then it could be Crampton that takes advantage of it.
Barreto's going to have to hold him off here, but he's got a shot at getting this race victory. White flag in the air here in the South Boston Showdown. They're 3 wide behind him, but we took the white flag. It's going to be an official finish here tonight. Alexander Rose a bit too far behind. Igor Barreto's going to hold the line, and Igor Barreto's going to be your first winner of 2026 on AG the channel. 25 points towards the championship for Mr. Barreto right there in the 71. How about that?
Oh. What a finish. What a race.
Well, awesome stuff. 10th anniversary winner and first winner of 2026.
That was a lot of fun.
That was, and I think that might be his 10th win for the 10th anniversary.
I think it is. Yeah, you're right. That's his 10th career win on the channel as a driver. He's got a lot more as an owner, of course. What a wild finish. Emily York-Watson with the fastest lap. She'll start on the pole for the first heat at New Smyrna Speedway. And you thought it was crazy here tonight. Just wait till we get there in a week's time. Take a look at the rest of the fastest laps right there. That's how they'll line up for each heat. They alternate, of course, so if you got an even number in front of you, you're heat 2. If you got an odd number in front of you, you're heat number 1. But it's Igor Barreto getting the race victory here in the first race of the season in the 2026 BodyArmor Pro Series. Alexander Rowe finishing second, a great run for him, and I watch out for Alexander Rowe as this season goes along, no doubt about it. Travis Crampton, Aaron Abel, Brendan Wilmington, Emily York-Watson, Hallie Anderson Jr., Rogel Dorn, Blaine Keys, and Matthew Hubert, all receiving championship points. Michael Lewis isn't even going to get anything from the feature event here after restarting in first with 5 laps to go. That's how crazy this place is, and I tell you, it got crazy. What a crazy race it was here at South Boston Speedway. What a way to start off the 2026 season. That was a lot of fun.
Well, truth be told, that was absolutely fantastic. Igor, big win. It was, of course, maybe biasly rooting for Michael Lewis there, but still, though, awesome race. Awesome time calling all 3 of these deals, both heats and the main feature here. This feature didn't quite have as much chaos as I thought it would, but at the end of the day, it still saw some crazy moments. So South Boston living up to the hype as always. 2026 is now officially underway on the channel, and that's pretty darn cool that we kick it off with a bang like we did tonight. Also going to shout out Brendan Wilmington for finishing just 1/1000th of a second ahead of Emily York-Watson for 5th place. I just noticed that.
How about that?
Don't see that very often.
You did not, and very impressive stuff from Wilmington. That's someone that, amongst all the chaos tonight, we didn't really talk about winning that much when he steals the top 5 barely over Emily York-Watson. But what a fun event here tonight to kick off the season with all the heats, with both heats, and the feature. And that was a lot of fun. South Boston, I don't give it enough credit sometimes. I don't see it that much, but it definitely delivers. And a fantastic race once again. And just getting started for the Pro Series and just getting started for 2026 on the channel. And it's going to be another great year. And for Igor, I bet he wished that this was a one and done so he could be the champion, but it's not. So he has to survive 16 more races to become Pro Series champ.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot harder this year than it was last year because there's no driver rating, so you're just at the mercy of the game for this Pro Series here in 2026. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I want to apologize about my voice, and this is something that I am going to work on. This was tough. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes here with me, and I've kind of been dealing with this for a couple of months, but we're going to get that sorted out so we have a great 2026 season, especially in the Wawa Cup Series that starts 2 Fridays from now. Mellow Yellow Smooth Fest from New Smyrna. That's where all the fun's really going to begin. I mean, we had a heck of a lot of fun here tonight, of course. And of course, we're going to be in New Smyrna next week for the Pro Series for the second race of the season and the Central Florida Showdown. Igor Barretto gets it done here at the South Boston Speedway. Huge congratulations to him getting the first win of 2026, and I do believe he's going to be your points leader going in to our next race. A huge thank you to Nathan Stapleton and Andrew Miller for joining me alongside here tonight. And we'll see you guys next week from the New Smyrna Speedway. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great year here on AG, the channel. Got a lot of great stuff. Wawa National Series as well. Caleb's going to be cooking with that. And I'll be doing the IndyCar Series this year. So great to have that back in my wheelhouse. It's going to be a lot of great stuff. And her Sprint Series, Nathan's going to do that. And we got the Top Dragster Open coming back too. Just got a bunch of great stuff. And we just got it kicked off here tonight with Igor Barretto getting the win at South Boston. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Here are the point standings for the BodyArmor Pro Series after the first race of the 2026 season. And on behalf of Nathan Stapleton and Andrew Miller, I will see you guys later.